Hi everyone, I'm May and this is Sam, and we are the co-founders of Eric, a community empowering young aspiring creatives on career and self-development. So today's workshop has actually been highly requested by our community, and it's all around networking, but networking in 2020 because everything's changed. So yeah, networking is obviously one of those things that everyone has to do. We can't avoid it, unfortunately. We can all get better at networking. It is just a skill, and it is just a game. Like, you just have to meet as many people as you can. So the higher, the more people that you meet, the higher the chances that you will see the benefits. All the people that you do meet along the way, even if they're not a benefit to you today, they do kind of circle back, and you'll always find those people useful down the line. So in today's climate, obviously we can't meet people physically, but we do have online. It's so much easier to meet people online because you're just not anxious or embarrassed to like go up to someone. So we are going to give you basically 4 tips on how we think that you guys can network in 2020. So yeah, take it away, Sam.
So point number 1 is join targeted groups. So think about the area that you want to get into, and there is a community for you out there, I can promise you. So Instagram accounts, Twitter groups, like LinkedIn groups. I don't know if anyone's ever been part of Meetup, but there are lots and lots of communities on there. Even when it comes to, I guess, a channel that some of you might not have heard of, Slack. There are kind of like open Slack channels as well that you can join that are very industry specific and community specific. So there are lots of places online now that like harbor these amazingly supportive and really intimate communities that you can be part of. They are open. It's just people don't necessarily always look for them. And often people only come across them once they're in industry already. So I guess it's kind of like you have to be in the know to know. I've put an example in the article that I've written to go with this. For example, if I wanted a career in graphic design, I would then just type in graphic design women into Instagram, and I can promise you there are going to be a lot of Instagram accounts that I can follow, and I can DM the person that runs them being like, I'm new to this area, I really want to get into graphic design, as a career. Can you help me out? Can you connect me with anyone? They're incredibly supportive, these spaces. They're there for that specific reason, to encourage community amongst a specific demographic. So use those communities. Join as many as you want. DM as many people as you want. The people that you will be DMing who run these accounts are more likely than not to be incredibly well connected anyway, because they're the ones that are kind of harboring this community themselves. It's more often than not just 1 or 2 people running an account as well. It's very, very small. So yeah, so that's a really good space to start. Join all of these communities, get that industry insider knowledge, and I guess start building a network from there. So the second thing that you can do is ask for mentorship and advice. So we've actually already done a workshop on this, so I highly recommend that you go and watch that. There's also, obviously, as there always is, an article to go with it, so you can go read it if you prefer. But it's a step-by-step guide as to how to get a mentor or an advisor that will help you take like dramatic steps towards the career that you want. So we've aimed it at people that want kind of, I guess, like industry experts as mentors who will be able to give them the advice that they need, but also connect them with people that are kind of like in positions to give people jobs as well. Watch that workshop. But yeah, getting a mentor and an advisor is a really easy way of getting into a specific industry, and finding people who are happy to nurture you and your career. You just have to show enthusiasm, to be honest, and people are often very flattered that you've asked them to be a mentor.
And everyone has more time now just because we're not going it. We're in lockdown, so people have plenty of time to pick up the phone, and they're probably just more happy to do these kind of things. So definitely take the opportunity.
Yeah, so true. Like being a mentor nowadays is actually easier because you don't have to go and meet anyone. You just like open your laptop and click on the Zoom link. Like it's easy. Thirdly, have an angle. I think this is, yeah, it's all about personal brand there, basically. If you are looking to build a network, it's easier if people know exactly, I guess, your passion, like the area that you're really interested in. If you're an advocate for change in a specific area, or if you want to like champion a certain cause, it's a really easy thing for people to connect with. They just understand that you're like, and this doesn't have to be a full-time thing, it can be like a side project. So May and I, when we first started Eric, we actually were running a video production company, and so Eric was a bit of a side hustle, and we'd be like, oh, we run a video production agency, but what we're really passionate about is increasing education around creative careers. So we started this thing called Eric. It resonates with people. Having a campaign or a cause really resonates with a lot of people. And it's really good as a kind of like hook, I guess, to get people excited about who you are as an individual, and also talk about you to other people. And then finally, this is the fourth one: being nice and honest is better than trying to be funny, and confidence is a front. So yeah, these are all linked together. Basically, it's quite a long title, I'm very aware of that. What you are trying to do through this one is become a good networker. You're trying to get people to, I guess, come away from the conversation being like, oh, what a great conversation that was. I really feel like I got a lot out of it. And the connection, that's what you're looking for, a kind of actual connection. So I think a lot of people look at people that are loud and they're like, oh, or people that are confident and they're like, oh my God, they've got it all sorted out. No one has it sorted out. That is like more often than not, it's just like years of learnt behavior. It's not like everyone comes out of the womb just like, I'm here, you know, like, and I'm ready to network. Like that's not a thing that happens. People learn that behavior often. I mean, I certainly did. A lot of people, I guess, I'm a very loud person, and so often people mistake that for confidence. I'm incredibly socially anxious. I find it really stressful being in these networking situations. And more often than not, it is a front. It's often like covering up an anxiety or, I guess, an insecurity. So if you're not loud and confident, don't think that that's because you're bad at networking. Actually, you have a skill there, which is probably more of like a listening role. And people love a listener. They love a listener way more than they do an overly confident person. So make sure, you always need to make sure that you are, I guess, asking questions, that your voice isn't the most heard in the room, that people are feeling like you're valuing what they're saying to you. There's a list of the best responses that you can give in a conversation, and the number one thing that you can give, the way that you can get the best reaction out of someone, is if you answer their comment or whatever it is, a statement or in the conversation, if you answer what they're saying with an acknowledgement that you've been listening. So that's not like, oh yeah, that's really interesting. It's in, oh, I really liked what you said there about this, and then you ask them a question about it. There's a balancing act there that you need to do, where it's like, don't spend your entire time listening to what someone's saying being like, oh God, what's the question I can ask them? You know, like, I've definitely done that before. But I think that's a level that you need to, like, I guess, aspire or want to get to. Being a good conversationalist is a skill. It is a learnt skill. And the way that you can learn it, I guess, is often by watching other people as well, or just like thinking about how they're reacting to things.
No, definitely. I'm definitely more of a listener. I'm more of a listener, and then I forget to, I think sometimes you think listening is being boring, but actually, you know, you're right. Like people do like it when people listen, but you have to acknowledge that you have been listening. Otherwise that person might not think you've zoned out. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do have a series of workshops that we've done all around career and self-development. So if you did enjoy this one, you can go to our website, www.meet-eric.co. And as we do with all of our workshops, we have an article that goes with it. So the link should be attached here. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. See you next time.